Neymar, when skill became a problem. Neymar forced football authorities to change the penalty rule. Then, he made them ask a harder question. When does skill become provocation? The first problem was penalties. The second, football still doesn't have a good answer. The penalty trick was called the paradinha, the little stop. Neymar would run up normally, then pause right before striking. Goalkeepers panicked. They dived early. He rolled the ball into the empty corner. Simple, deadly, and keepers had nothing for it. So FIFA stepped in. May 2010, weeks before the World Cup, they clarified Law 14. Feinting during the run-up was fine, but stopping after completing your approach was now unsporting behavior. Yellow card. The paradinha was gone. But the penalties were the easy part. What came next had no clean solution. Neymar's tricks in open play weren't against any rule, yet they kept causing chaos. Flicks with no tactical purpose. Moves designed to embarrass rather than beat a defender. Opponents stopped trying to win the ball fairly. They just retaliated. Then came proof that referees were making up their own boundaries. February 2020, PSG against Montpellier. Score 1-0. Montpellier already down to 10 men. Neymar attempted a rainbow flick near the corner flag. It didn't come off. Hit the defender, went out for a throw. Referee Jérôme Brizard walked over and warned him. Cut it out. Neymar protested. A brief argument. Brizard reached into his pocket and pulled out the yellow card. Not for the rainbow flick itself, for daring to question the warning. Minutes later, Teji Savanier fouled Neymar from behind. Already booked and fuming, Neymar got up, found Savanier and ran straight at him. Stepovers, feints, the full routine. The Parc des Princes loved it. Revenge served cold. At halftime, Neymar confronted officials in the tunnel. When told to speak French, he reportedly replied, "Speak French, my ass." Later, he posted 3 words on Instagram: "I just play football." Here's what most people don't know. There's no rule against rainbow flicks. None. What exists is a single phrase buried in Law 12. Showing a lack of respect for the game counts as unsporting behavior. No definition, no examples. Just 6 words that let referees decide in the moment whether a piece of skill crosses into provocation. The paradinha got a clear line. Showboating got something murkier. A judgment call that shifts depending on the referee, the scoreline, and how embarrassed the opponent looks. And the argument isn't settled. In April 2025, Brazil's Football Federation created the first official showboating rule after Memphis Depay stood on the ball during the Campeonato Paulista final and sparked a mass brawl. Standing on the ball is now an automatic yellow card in Brazilian football. Neymar's take? Football is getting more and more boring.
Lionel Messi, the player who couldn't be stopped. They couldn't stop him fairly, so they stopped him illegally. Messi didn't create a new rule, he exposed how badly an old one was being ignored. Every team worked out the same approach. Don't let him turn. Clip him early. Take the foul. Accept the consequences. The numbers tell the story. During his peak Barcelona years, Messi was fouled nearly 3 times per match, almost double what most elite forwards experience. In La Liga alone, he regularly topped the charts for fouls suffered. At the 2010 World Cup, he was fouled more than any other player in the tournament. And the fouls weren't random, they were strategic. Watch any Messi match from his prime and you'll see the same sequence repeat. Messi receives the ball, a defender immediately grabs his shirt or clips his ankle before he can turn. Referee waves play on. Small foul, no clear advantage. Same thing happens 40 seconds later, and again, and again. You can't even blame the defenders. What else were they supposed to do? The math was brutally simple. A yellow card costs you nothing if it prevents Messi from turning. A successful Messi dribble costs you everything. Pepe, Sergio Ramos, Felipe Melo, They all figured it out. Hit him before he gets going. The card was always worth it. It took years for referees to draw a harder line. The instruction came down. Stop letting defenders chip away unpunished. Add up the fouls. Book earlier. If a player is clearly being targeted, protect him before he gets hurt, not after. The tactical foul didn't disappear. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City turned it into an art form. Deliberate fouls high up the pitch to stop counters. But there's a reason Rodri and Fernandinho picked up so many yellows doing it. The referees weren't letting it slide anymore. Messi turned fouling into the smartest defensive option in football. And football had to rethink what fair even meant when one player made cheating the logical choice. Diego Forlán, the chaotic celebration. Scoring wasn't enough. In the early 2000s, goals turned into performances, shirts ripped off, political slogans revealed, celebrations dragging on while everyone waited. Forlán was one of many who made this iconic. After scoring for Manchester United against Southampton in November 2002, he tore off his shirt, struggled to get it back on, and kept playing. Actually chased the ball while topless. The image became famous. Forlán sprinting half-naked across Old Trafford, arms spread wide, completely lost in the moment. At first, nobody knew how to handle it. Referees looked at each other. Was this a booking? Was this just passion? But here's what FIFA was really worried about. Those undershirts were blank space, and players had started using them as billboards. Robbie Fowler lifted his Liverpool shirt to reveal support for striking dock workers. Thierry Henry showed messages after scoring. The undershirt became the one place in football without a sponsor logo. Players owned that real estate. And then sponsors asked the question that changed everything. What happens when someone starts selling that space? Imagine a Champions League final, 100 million people watching, and a player scores the winner, then reveals a Nike swoosh hidden under his Adidas kit. The commercial implications terrified everyone with a licensing deal. A marketing director named Jerome Valk proposed the fix. Keep it simple. Shirt off, automatic yellow. No context, no emotion, no exceptions. IFAB took it immediately. The rule doesn't care why you took your shirt off. Birth of your child, honoring a dead friend, pure euphoria. Yellow card regardless. Some players still think it's worth it. Mario Balotelli taking off his shirt to flex after scoring against Germany. Cristiano Ronaldo ripping off his jersey on numerous occasions. They knew the yellow was coming. They didn't care. Football picked control over expression. Emiliano Martinez, the master of mind games. Penalties used to be about composure. Then Martinez made them about theatre. Most goalkeepers try to get into the striker's head with small movements. A step off the line, a stare, maybe some words. Martinez went further. He turned the moments before a penalty into a circus performance. The 2021 Copa America semi-final against Colombia was the first time most people noticed. Before Yerry Mina stepped up, Martinez started talking. "I know where you're going to shoot. Watch how I'm gonna eat you up." Mina missed. Martinez danced on the line, celebrated before the next kick, kept talking. Colombia's composure shattered. Argentina advanced, but he was just getting started. In September 2021, Aston Villa visited Old Trafford in the Premier League. Villa scored late to make it 1-0, then conceded a penalty in stoppage time. As Bruno Fernandes prepared to take the kick, Martinez walked over. Not to Fernandes, but to Cristiano Ronaldo. "Why aren't you taking it? You're the penalty taker. Come on, take it." He was creating chaos, exploiting the tension between two teammates, making Fernandes wait, filling the moment with doubt. When Fernandes finally struck the ball, he blazed it over the bar. Martinez turned and danced in front of the United fans. Villa won 1-0. By the time the World Cup final arrived, his reputation preceded him.
Against France, with the trophy on the line, Martinez brought every trick. Before Aurélien Tchouaméni stepped up, he grabbed the ball and threw it away, forcing the French midfielder to wait while he retrieved it. He stared, he delayed, he made every second feel like a minute. Tchouaméni's penalty went wide of the post. He didn't even test Martinez. Randall Kolo Muani stepped up next. Martinez saved it. By France's fourth penalty, the referee finally booked him, but by then the damage was done. Two French players had failed from the spot. The mental edge was Argentina's. IFAB didn't write a new law, they tightened the old ones. Starting July 2023, goalkeepers were explicitly banned from touching goalposts, crossbar or net, delaying kicks, or making distracting movements. Referees were told to act fast. Warnings first, then yellow cards for repeat offences. Watch any shootout now and you'll see officials stepping in earlier. That's Martinez's influence. The keeper who found the line by stepping over it in front of 1 billion people. Thierry Henry, the handball disaster. 2 illegal touches, 1 goal, 1 country out of the World Cup finals. Henry's handball against Ireland in 2009 showed everyone what football had been pretending wasn't a problem. Referees couldn't catch everything, and when they missed the big ones, there was nothing anyone could do. The sequence was obvious. France was losing on aggregate. Extra time, legs exhausted, Ireland defending for their lives. A free kick floated into the box. Henry controlled the ball with his hand, twice, then squared it to William Gallas, who scored. The referee waved away protests. The linesman saw nothing. France went to South Africa. Everyone watching at home saw it clearly. Replays ran over and over. Henry admitted it afterward, told reporters the referee should have spotted it, said he wasn't the one who should be making that call. The Football Association of Ireland demanded a replay. FIFA said no. Matches cannot be replayed based on refereeing errors. The French Federation stayed quiet. Ireland got nothing except a question football couldn't answer. What's the point of rules you can't enforce? Nobody was arguing about angles or interpretations. Henry's hand was right there, twice, on several camera angles, broadcast to millions. And it decided who went to the World Cup. Suddenly, a missed call didn't feel like bad luck. It felt like the system failing. This moment didn't bring in VAR overnight, but it killed the argument against it. 5 years later, video review was being tested. By 2018, it was standard at the World Cup.
Frank Lampard, the goal everyone saw. Football's most obvious error happened on its biggest stage. 2010 World Cup, round of 16. England chasing Germany, already down 2-1. Lampard collected the ball 30 yards out and hit a dipping shot. It crashed off the crossbar, bounced down, landed nearly a full metre over the line, then spun back out into play. The referee waved play on. No goal. Germany cleared. Minutes later, they scored again. Then again. England lost 4-1. The footage was damning. Lampard's shot crossed the line by nearly a full metre. It practically kissed the back stanchion before physics returned it. From every angle, at any speed, the ball was clearly over. 60,000 people in the stadium knew it. Millions watching at home knew it. The only person who didn't know was the one whose opinion mattered. FIFA President Sepp Blatter had spent years blocking goal line technology. 6 months earlier, IFAB had voted to reject it permanently. Blatter called human error part of football's identity, tradition, character. The unpredictability was supposed to be beautiful. Then Blatter sat in Bloemfontein and watched Lampard's ghost goal happen live. 2 days later, he apologised publicly to the English FA. In interviews afterward, he was blunt. "I wouldn't be again in a World Cup and witness another situation like that. I would die." The politics moved fast. By 2012, IFAB had approved goal line technology in principle. By 2013, it was being tested. By 2014, the World Cup in Brazil had Hawkeye installed at every venue. 14 cameras per goal, millimetre accuracy. Results sent straight to the referee's watch in under a second. Some traditions ended that day in South Africa. Football decided getting decisions right mattered more than protecting anyone's pride. Julian Alvarez, the accident that changed the law. One piece of bad luck exposed a rule that felt deeply unfair. March 2025, Champions League last 16. Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid, penalty shootout. The city holding its breath. Alvarez steps up. He begins his run, plants his left foot, and slips. His standing foot brushes the ball just before his right foot connects. The ball floats awkwardly over Thibaut Courtois and drops into the net. The stadium erupted, then went silent. VAR review. Double touch. Goal ruled out. Atletico lost the shootout and crashed out of Europe. Under the existing wording of Law 14, intent didn't matter. Touch the ball twice during a penalty kick, penalty cancelled. Slip or scheme, same outcome. The rule made no distinction between a deliberate scoop and an unlucky stumble. The backlash was immediate. Atletico complained formally to UEFA. Diego Simeone called the decision absurd. Pundits across Europe pointed out the obvious. Alvarez hadn't tried to cheat. He'd lost his footing on wet grass. The punishment didn't fit the crime. Unlike most rule controversies, this one had a clear victim. Alvarez walked off visibly devastated. His teammates couldn't console him. He'd done nothing wrong in any meaningful sense, yet his mistake had eliminated his team from the competition. 3 months later, IFAB rewrote the law. Accidental double touch where a goal is scored now means a retake, not disqualification. The change came into force on July 1, 2025. One slip made football admit something it rarely does. Not every rule break is the same. Intent matters. Context matters. And sometimes the laws need to catch up with what's actually fair.
Jean-Marc Bosman, the footballer who took FIFA to court. He never scored a famous goal, never won a trophy anyone remembers. Most fans have never seen him play. He changed football more than almost anyone who has. Bosman was a Belgian midfielder at RFC Liège, an unremarkable player on an unremarkable team. When his contract expired in 1990, he wanted to leave for Dunkirk, a French second division club. Nothing special, just a fresh start. Liège demanded a transfer fee anyway, even though his deal was done. Bosman refused to accept it, so he sued. The case dragged on for 5 years. Liège blocked the transfer. No club would touch him. Who wants to sign the player fighting the entire system? His career died while the lawyers argued. But in December 1995, the European Court of Justice ruled in his favour. The verdict was absolute. Clubs could not demand transfer fees for out-of-contract players within the EU. They also struck down quotas limiting foreign players. The foundations of European football's labour market collapsed overnight. The modern transfer system started that day. Free transfers, players running down contracts, agents holding leverage. Every January window, every Bosman signing, traces back to that courtroom in Luxembourg. The victory destroyed him. By the time the ruling came, Bosman was 31 and hadn't played professionally in years. No big club wanted the guy who'd taken the sport to court. He dealt with depression, alcoholism, financial ruin. In 2011, he was arrested for assaulting his girlfriend. The man who freed every footballer in Europe couldn't hold his own life together. He never got rich from the case, never received compensation from the clubs that blackballed him, never got the career he deserved. But every time a player leaves on a free transfer, every time an agent threatens to let a contract expire, that's his legacy. No tricks, no trophies, just the law and the nerve to challenge a system nobody else would touch. Which rule change surprised you most? Which is the most unnecessary? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you want football that goes deeper than the scoreline.